Eagles. I hope you're doing well. Today, our interactive read aloud is a fictional story called Anansi, an African Tale. The essential question for this story is, where do Anansi and the turtle live? I hope you enjoy. It was an average morning in the African desert. No wind was blowing. The sun was just warming up, and the birds were chirping and searching for food in the branches of the baobab trees. Anansi the spider lived in this desert habitat. At the bottom of a twisty baobab tree, she caught beetles and moths and flies and butterflies in her web. She was cooking up yesterday's catch, fried bugs with beetle sauce. Anansi was humming and cooking when her friend Turtle walked by. He stopped at the welcoming smell of food. "May I share your breakfast, Anansi?" he asked. Certainly, Turtle," Anansi answered after a long pause. "But if you please, wash your hands first." Turtle frowned, but he agreed to go wash his hands. "This is the driest part of the desert," he thought as he walked away. "I don't want to complain, but the nearest water is all the way back at the river." As Turtle walked to the river, he watched out for wild animals that might eat him, like eagles and baboons. It was a dangerous trip. Finally, Turtle reached Anansi's house. Anansi was sitting back in her chair, looking very satisfied. Then Turtle saw that half of the food was gone. Anansi looked at Turtle closely. "Your hands are still dirty," she said. "I want to share my breakfast with you, but you must wash your hands again." So the turtle returned to the river and washed his hands again. On the way back, he tried his best to keep them from getting dusty. Back at Anansi's house, Turtle found that all of the food was gone. "I was going to save some food for you," said Anansi, "but then I decided that you would not want to eat cold insects. Next time." Turtle knew that Anansi had tricked him, but he said nothing. He simply went home hungry. A few weeks later, it was another hot day in the desert. All of the desert animals were cooling off near the river. Dragonflies buzzed above the water. Birds waded in the water, searching for fish. A family of elephants took a loud bath and sprayed each other with their trunks. The river was Turtle's home. He had spent the morning fishing for minnows. Anansi crawled to the river's edge just as Turtle was sitting down to lunch. She could see him at his table under the cool, clear water. Anansi poked her head into the river. "Hello, Turtle. May I join you for lunch?" she asked. "Why, of course," Turtle replied. "It would be my honor. Come on down." Anansi dived into the water, but she floated right back up to the top. She was too light to stay down at the table. "Keep trying," Turtle called. He watched happily as he took a giant bite of snails. Anansi kept trying hard to sink, but it was useless. Anansi watched Turtle eat his delicious lunch, but she could not reach him. She became upset. Then the stubborn spider came up with a clever plan. She filled her jacket pockets with heavy river rocks. The extra weight helped her sink to the river bottom. Anansi pulled up a chair at Turtle's table, picked up a fork, and reached for a bite of snails. "Just 1 minute, my friend," said Turtle. Anansi stopped. "What seems to be the problem, Turtle?" she asked. "Well, at my house, it is not polite to eat with a jacket on. Please take off your jacket," Turtle said. Anansi knew that she could not be rude in her friend's house. She took off her jacket and floated back up to the surface of the water. Her plan had failed. All she could do was crawl home hungry. "Turtle tricked me right back," Anansi thought as she fixed her web. I guess I deserved it. Later that afternoon, Turtle visited the baobab tree. He apologized to Anansi, and she apologized too. The two friends promised to share their food from then on. The end. So now I have a few questions to ask so that you can start to retell the story. Here's our first page. What habitat is shown in this picture? What is the spider doing? How does Turtle feel? What is he hoping to do? Why is Turtle eating without Anansi? How does Anansi solve her problem? And the last one. How does Turtle trick Anansi? How does the story end? Thank you for listening. Bye.